Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a corking story for you today. They're all good these days, aren't they? Because the world's gone completely mad. Exclusive, shameless squatter who moved into pensioners' empty home, then won legal right to keep it, has sold it for a whopping £540,000. Brilliant, that, isn't it? Why work hard to pay your mortgage off when you can just rob someone else's house off them? Easy. Can I just say right off the bat, before we get started, I would not be able to swallow a pill this bitter. If that was me, I would happily burn my house down. And not only that, I would be tent pegging my trousers all the way to the petrol station. I'd be guiding the nozzle into my jerry can like a German porn director, like that. Oh yeah. And then I would gleefully be lying on my pit in a jail cell, more aroused than Elton John when he's watching the shirtless volleyball scene on Top Gun. But enough of my peculiar sexual proclivities. Let's read the story, shall we? Right then, this is brilliant. More evidence of the apparent conspiracy of anarcho-tyranny, which is where the state only enforces the law for people that it decides it likes, failing their half of the social contract and therefore freeing me up to decide to think, well, maybe I shouldn't pay my council tax then, because you apparently only prosecute people that you don't like. Keith Best was accused of stealing the home he squatted in. Courts ruled he could legally own the house, and he's now sold it for £540,000 in profit, leaving neighbours fuming. Oh, I bet they are. Everybody knows the worst thing you can do is move in next door to an absolute scrubber. Upside down trampolines and dead guinea pigs in the front garden. I mean, houses are like bananas. The outside denotes the inward contents, and nobody wants to live next door to a squatter. You know he's the type of bloke whose recycling bins are just full of Chicago town pizza boxes and special brew, don't you? Keith Best was accused of effectively stealing the 3-bedroom semi-detached house in Newbury Park. Effectively. He stole it. Of course he effectively stole it. By definition, if you got away with it, you effectively stole it. If you punch an old woman in the face and take her handbag, yeah, that's effectively stealing as well. So well done, Keith. He spotted the vacant home while working in the neighbourhood and then started treating it as his own. He then began renovating it and moved in with his wife and child, and a few months later applied for a permanent possession of it, which was worth around £400,000 at the time, and the judge said he could keep it, despite accepting that he committed criminal trespass. Yeah, so as I said, when it suits them, the law's powerless to help. You're a pensioner and someone's robbed your house off you. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. The law's powerless to help. But if you look like Mr. Best there, well, you can do as you please, can't you? I reckon if the roles were reversed and I moved into Mr. Best's house, just nipped in the next time he pops off on his holidays to Tenerife, I think the judge would have a different thing to say, wouldn't he? He wouldn't see me curling one out on his kitchen floor and go, you might as well live there. It's yours now, because you shat on it. It's not how it works. In a civilised country, in a country that isn't anarcho-tyrannical. And what's he wearing there? A Virgin Atlantic Lumi vest. What did he do? Pinch that off an air hostess while he was at it, did he? Off on his holidays. Would you like a drink of water, sir? Yeah, I'll have a packet of peanuts, a can of lager, and your Lumi vest, your polo shirt, and your handbag, you bitch. The new owner said this property was sold to us by Keith, who was the legal owner. His name appeared on all the documents. When the Mail Online revealed the controversial past of the home, he said, I don't understand how something like this can happen. How can you just take over an empty house and make it your own? Isn't that theft? Yeah, it is, yeah. But nobody cares. This is the apparent controversial conspiracy theory anarcho-tyranny in action, isn't it? I wouldn't even have a bottle to buy a house off Mr. Best because I would assume that as soon as I went to see me mum for the weekend, he'd be moving in as soon as I was off the driveway. What's to stop him doing it again? Just wait till he goes to Butlins for a week and then just take your wife and kids in the living room. Job done. You all know that this conspiracy theory is factually accurate because it keeps happening. I could name dozens of occasions whereby the activist judges and the activist lawyers and the activist politicians only enforce the law for a certain group of people. But the one that springs to mind the most is the BLM riots right in the middle of lockdown, when you were getting told, oh, you can't have your relatives over. You can't have your mum and dad sitting in your own living room. You can't do that. Lockdown's on, and if you do that, you're breaking the law. And then 100,000 militant communists smash up a couple of cities, and the New York Times and the BBC and the government and everybody else that mattered, with a straight face, said, oh, you can't spread a virus when you're doing something we agree with. No, you'll spread a virus when there's like 2 of you in a pub, but you won't spread a virus when there's 50,000 people crowded into a tiny area, shoulder to shoulder. It's tighter than a nun's fanny. You can't spread a virus when you do that, because viruses are sentient, and if we agree with your politics, the virus won't infect anyone. Yeah. So there you go, just another conspiracy theory, nothing to see here. The law's definitely getting applied equally, so you should pay your taxes and your council tax and do as the police tell you, because the state hasn't completely collapsed and we're definitely enforcing the law fairly. Just ask the former owner, the nice old man who paid taxes for 50 years, of this house that now belongs to a random bloke in a stolen Loomy vest. Winner. Anyway, that's just what I think. If you believe you're being well served by the authorities, please let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I'd also like to ask you why you are completely off your box. All right, thanks for viewing. See you all very soon. Toodle pip. Cheers.